What's up guys, my name is Zero Heroes and welcome back to more Gates of Hell. Now a couple weeks ago I put on the community post talking about doing a new series about mission tutorials, talking about missions that are really difficult to do, that you guys kind of find struggle when you do the missions, you find them really hard to do, and I would do a video on it and explain kind of a step-by-step guide on how to do it. So in today's video, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. And if you do want to see me make me more of these videos, so make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and comment down below which mission you've really struggled with and which mission that you found difficult you would like me to do in a video, which I'll definitely be doing. So sit back, relax, and just enjoy it. And today's mission is going to be the Red Tide mission, which is based on the Jubilee DLC. So if you do have this DLC and you have played this mission, I'm doing this on hardcore difficulty, and let me tell you, this mission is one of the most difficult missions you can do on the Jubilee DLC, even though there's 3 of them, including this one, but this is definitely the most difficult. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. I am doing kind of a voiceover commentary, so this is kind of not live gameplay. I've already recorded this gameplay and I'm going to be doing a guide on letting you know how to complete each step of the mission. So without further ado guys, I hope you enjoy this and let's do this.
Germans are bringing more from the south. Best to leave a few men behind to cover the landing zone. We should not leave our rear uncovered.
Okay, so at this point you can see that I am going to get, you have your boat kind of covering you from there. You've got some enemies coming in from behind, so it's important you at least leave 2 guys behind you. It's really important you leave 2. Even though the boat does most of the work, it's still important you at least leave 2 infantry behind. So at this point I'm getting 3 infantry to start the attack on the lighthouse. That is your objective, first of all, is to reach the lighthouse, to call for more reinforcements, to set off that flare and get some more reinforcements. So as you see here, I'm showing you that the gunboat, the infantry is attacking, but I'm leaving 2 infantry behind, and I'm having a medic on towards my 3 infantry in case they do die. So I'm now starting to make my approach over here towards the lighthouse. Now, as I said, when you are attacking the lighthouse, the AI who are controlling the gunboat is going to do most of the work. You're going to try and delete the infantry as much as possible, but your objective is to try and use these infantry to get through them. Because you only have a very limited amount of infantry, it is very important that you do not let any of these infantry die. And as you can see from one of my mistakes I made there, I've already let this guy get down to really low health so he dies. And as you can see, I'm pressing V there on my keyboard, which allows you to light up kind of dead enemy bodies via allied or enemies at this point, but because they're red, they're dead enemies. At that point, what you could do is, not all of your infantry here do not have infinite amount of health kits, and they will lose health very, very quickly on this attack. So it's important. One tip I would give advice for you is press V and get your men to scan those bodies to make sure you get medkits and grenades, as you will need it. And one thing I would recommend on this part is to actually throw grenades, and you do have a lot of cover to your advantage, so make sure you get your men down and actually kind of time it. Now I had to use about 3 grenades there to actually time that right, so I've already made two mistakes on using that grenade. At that point I just thought, why not just throw it? So there's about 3-second grenade time. At that point you want to do those tips, is get your guys down, make sure they have enough grenades, and make sure just keep mauling grenades over, as the enemy infantry do have like a machine gun, a light machine gun, and they do have some very nasty guns on them. So it's important that you try and keep your men down and get those grenades going. But also it's important at this point, I am checking my 2 infantry who are holding the line. Make sure you check on them constantly, as they can die from the overwhelmed enemy, as they do keep approaching from that backside. And also keep healing your men up, because they will keep taking hits. But as you can see, I am keep moving forward. I'm gaining, and it is very important that you move your men up as quickly as you can, because you can get out. You will get outnumbered from the rear behind, or you will eventually get your 2 infantry will die, even though your gunboat's still there. So it's very important that you keep your men moving at this point as much as you can. Now, from this point, I didn't actually realize that, you know, my guy started running out of health kits, and I didn't realize that that there was dead enemy infantry that you could scan. So at this point, I'm kind of going in first control, using the infantry to kill off the enemy as much as I can. But you see that I keep moving, I keep going to make sure that I am getting there as quickly as I can. Now, I am going to make another mistake that's coming up is that what I'm doing for this soldier, I'm getting this guy up as crawling him up towards the enemy, and unfortunately what he does is, it's really annoying, there's something that AI does, is that he stops halfway while he's crawling, so you can see he's really exposed. So I tell this guy to keep moving, keep getting forward, to get behind those kind of metal beams, and at this point this guy is on really low health, and at this point I now realize that I can actually search for enemy dead bodies, and I'm taking their health packs, and I'm taking their grenades. So it's really important that you take their grenades and health packs, as it gives you the best possible advantage as much as you can. Now, unfortunately, that at this point, because I've gotten so kind of deep towards the lighthouse and getting really close, I've not actually paid attention to my two dead soldiers all the way back at the gunship. As you can see, that one of them unfortunately die, and the other one does survive just towards kind of the end when I do actually realize that they are dead. So at this point, I do apologize. You're probably screaming at the screen saying go save your guy, but I've not actually noticed it yet, as I'm too busy concentrating on the three guys, making sure they have enough health and making sure they're approaching the lighthouse as quickly as they can. Now, it's also important to notice that your infantry will run out of ammo quite a lot in this mission, so it's important that you search those dead bodies, steal enemy guns, and take their ammo as well, as this can lead, if you don't do that, then your men will die and they'll be kind of exposed to enemy fire, as you do not have enough ammo and you do not take their, you know, health packs and grenades along the way. So you can see we now only have a couple more guys left to deal with. We only have, I believe, 3 more enemy infantry. And at this point, now I have again made another dumb decision to kind of get the guy on the left there towards kind of in front of them, behind the metal beams lying down. I made him basically get really low health without having any med kit. So make sure you search those dead bodies at enemies at the first, and make sure you take all their health kits as much as possible, as this will give you the best chance of survival with these troops. And at this point, when you have 3 guys left, now this guy will move about. This enemy soldier does actually move, unfortunately, away from it, so I don't actually kill. Never mind, I actually do kill him. Sorry, I actually miscalculated that. I thought he actually ran away in my head at the time, but obviously not. So yeah, at this point, again, the AI has stopped kind of moving, but it's important if your AI, if you just get your guy to crawl towards a certain point, make sure you keep him moving. Do not let the AI stop you. And the reason I say that is because they will die because the AI will just shoot the enemy with their gun. So it's important that you, if they're real low health and they are and you're making them kind of crawl towards cover, make sure they get in that cover as much as they can. And as you can see there, that was probably the most dangerous guy right there, as he had kind of that light machine gun there, and now he's now been dealt with. So one more guy left to deal with, and then I'm able to set off that flare to get more reinforcements for the rest of the mission. So we are now pulling up the 2 other soldiers from this location. As you can see in the rear at the back, you can see there's now a whole lot of infantry coming, but I am very thankful that the gunboat is there, because I would have definitely not been able to hold that side as I was not paying attention to that at the time. But they almost got actually really close to a point where they did almost manage to take the gunboat, but luckily, or take that side, but luckily they didn't. But I'm now making again another stupid mistake of trying to get this guy in range of a grenade, but in this point I can actually just take control and kill him off.
House is secured. Now fire the flare and let the others know. They're likely already worried sick over there.
So at this point, you will actually, it's really important that you see it now. At this point, I've now realized that my guys are dead and I have not paid attention. But luckily, my gunboat has saved the day, and I've kept my medic back as well. It's really important that you keep your medic back as well, because if you brought your medic up, it would have been probably the end of that mission, I'm not going to lie. But as you can see, it's important that you take that guy as he has a flare. So make sure you take that specific soldier who has the flare up to Lighthouse so he can set off the flare.
The Germans are well dug in at the port. Our comrades will assault them, and they will need naval support. I placed one of our gunboats under your command. It's on the far side of the pier.
So at this point, you have now done that part of the mission. Your now objective is now to capture or eliminate the AT guns, or basically take this whole area. Now this has to be one of the hardest part of the missions coming up. Not specifically yet, because actually taking this bit is okay, because you do have a gunboat and you do have allied help at this point. So I'm sorry if you're actually hearing a lot of gunfire, but I did decide to keep the game sound on, so I hope you can still hear me talk okay. But at this point, you actually really want to start, once you get your gunboat, make sure you start aiming for those AT guns as much as you can. And also there is a fuel truck right there, as I didn't actually probably zoom in for it, but there's a fuel truck there where you can actually kill, you can shoot, which will hopefully kill off the AT guns. Unfortunately, they killed not the whole AT gun, but just the infantry on it. But if you just take direct control of the gunboat and start hitching mad at that AT gun, as the infantry will crew it as much as they can to try and destroy it. Now those little AT guns may seem very light, but these AT guns can actually destroy your gunboats very, very easily. So make sure you take out these AT guns as quickly as you can, because they will destroy your gunboats very easily, which you do not want, because it is one of your main allies, your main superpowers, I would say, at this point. So as you see, the AI is making quite good progressive coverage forward, and at this point you want to try and get your boat up as much as you can to try and deal with the enemy infantry that is kind of taking position there. So make sure you get your gunboat up as far as you can to try and make sure you deal with those infantry near the kind of the beach side of it. But start now, you only have 4 guys available at this mission. Unfortunately, you do not get control of all of the infantry. It is controlled by the AI, but you do have gunboat control, so make sure you use most of that by using the HE gun, which will happily be able to take out the infantry, but as well as the AI using the machine guns, those big Dishka guns, to just absolutely demolish the enemy AI. As you can see, that aim for those kind of fuel trucks as well as our little supply crates, as they will blow up and kill the enemy as much as they can. So you see, we are making very, very light work of the enemy AI, and like I said, the gunboat is just your main superpower to make sure you kill off as much as the infantry as possible. And once you actually feel comfortable to a point where you can move up, then get your 4 infantry that you do have and move them up as soon as you can. Now you might have noticed that with one of my infantries, that you can see that they're out of ammunition. So at this point, what I didn't realize is what I should have done is, with those a lot of dead bodies around me, at this point I do notice that my main MG guy is out of ammunition. So what you want to do is, there's a lot of dead bodies around you, so press V, or I think it's C, to pick up a gun. Now what I stupidly didn't do is I didn't get the ammo from it, because I was too much in a panic thinking I wouldn't be able to kill them all or something would happen, and now that has left me with 1 other troops with no ammo. But this also leaves that the infantry that I just picked up the Thompson with, he does not have Thompson ammo. So make sure when you are picking up weapons that you do also search the enemy or the allied infantry for their ammo as well, because it is crucial that you only have effectively 1 clip in the magazine for that. And as you can see now, both of my guys have run out of ammo, which basically now means that my guys are not as useful when attacking. So make sure that is number 1 or tip right there. So as you can see on this point, I realized that this guy does not have the same ammunition. So what I do is I mistakenly press escape a couple times, by the way, just ignore that. I do pick up a fresh weapon and I now search this guy's ammo, and when the ammunition is covered in green, it means that it fits that gun's ammo type. So make sure when you do see kind of ammunition light up in green, it means that it fits that gun's kind of ammunition. It's the same ammunition as that gun. And as you see there, I'm kind of a wee bit reluctant to push up yet, just because there's a few, I see that on the map there's a few enemies kind of nearby on my left hand side, so I'm kind of a wee bit reluctant to push up. But I finally make kind of the decision to finally make the push, and I almost get one of my guys there, especially with a grenade, almost get myself killed there. But I start to make the push, and now the enemies have escaped, and that has you now completed part 2 of this mission, which is clearing the beachhead. Now it's important that you clear everything, and you see that there's still an AT gun up there. So one of the objectives is to actually is to capture or eliminate all AT guns. So make sure you do that, because even though it does there is a tick beside it, they will rearm it, and you do have to do that. So
under our control now. Reinforcements should arrive at any moment. Maladies, Marines, a strong showing. Looks like the Germans didn't expect us, but we should not relax too early. They will surely try to retake this ground.
And there you go, that is part 2 complete of that mission.
Have arrived, just in time. Let's use this short pause to prepare for the enemy's counterattack. So
at this point now, you need to hold the zone near the lighthouse.
Mortar fire incoming.
So I'm just going to pause the video here just because I would just like to explain there was a massive cut, but at that point when those reinforcements arrive, you have exactly 5 minutes of time to set up your kind of placements to defend this beach. Now to kind of cut a story short a wee bit here, that I actually got fully overrun here at this point, but there is a catch, I will say, which means that you can complete this mission, so let's watch on. But in that case, you do have 5 minutes, and those 5 minutes are really crucial, as you do have more reinforcements, you have more infantry, and you do have a gunboat to your disposal, but your main ally is the gunboat, so let's watch on.
Expect the Germans to charge as soon as the mortars start firing.
So this point they are so my 5 minutes is up, and now they are firing mortar, so I get my infantry down so they don't get actually caught in the fire. But as you see that I've kind of spread them across against several areas, so one kind of defending the part where the AT gun, you can see where the supply crate is, and you also do get a machine gun as well. And what I decided to do, don't put your infantry where I currently placed them, put them where the ammo crates are. As what this does is that when you put your infantry outside the ammo crate, it means they'll run out of ammo really quickly, and you'll lose that bit. So what to do is kind of crowd your infantry up closely together, because there is actually no mortars in this section, is that keep them within the ammo supply crate, and that means they will never run out of ammo. But one thing I should have done is maybe move my MG back a wee bit further, as you can see they actually kind of have the high ground. So what I'm doing now is...
Here they come, the bastards. Didn't take them long. We must hold this line. The outcome of the operation depends on this very patch of land. Get to work, comrades.
So you can see where the MG is placed. Unfortunately, it is very, very close up towards that wall, and the Germans do actually have the high grounds at this point. So what I should have done is maybe move my machine gun back to get better shots on them. You can see I'm taking now direct control, and you do have some friendly AI as well, but unfortunately they do die off really quickly. Now the enemies do come in really, really quickly. So with the hardcore mission and this mission, you will get run over. There's no trying to get around it. You will get run over. I think that's the way, that's the point of the game. That's the way that kind of this mission works. At this point you will get overrun. So at this point you're just trying and kill as much as you can without getting your infantry killed. Now unfortunately AI do get really smart, and they do get really close to you to try and grenade you. So what you want to do is try and spread your enemy out.
Fascists brought in their vehicles. Use the full firepower of the gunboat and destroy them.
And that's the one thing I also did forget, is that they did bring in also vehicles, which I was stupid. And at that point my infantry, unfortunately the infantry surrounding the the supply crate do all get killed, unfortunately. But that is unfortunately the consequences of this mission, is that they will get killed, and I should have maybe moved a wee bit further back. Now with this map, it is a wee bit difficult, and it's something I would say, if you really want to maximize or keep your troops as much alive, you don't actually need to hold the whole area. What I would do is that once I actually show the camera angle, is that I would move your infantry further over towards the left, towards the beachhead, and kind of hold them towards that kind of major line that you see on the map. So kind of where my infantry are is not really a good place to put them, as they're really exposed to the infantry up above, as they have the advantage on that. You can see my men are really getting lowered, kind of mowed down here, and as you can see that I have my 2 medics at the back. Now medics are kind of a wee bit pointless in this. Well, they are useful in case they do get killed, but as you can see that my men get completely overrun by left here. But on the left there, it's actually, I would put all my infantry on the left, as that maximizes the amount of firepower and also keep them really far back, so you don't actually need to hold this whole area. As long as you're able to basically just hold them off for as long as possible, you've technically won this mission. As you can see, I make a massive mistake there by trying to get my enemies to retreat, but the AI have brought in another vehicle where they just absolutely just decimate it.
It's going straight for the gunboat.
And I only have medics left. Now at this point in the mission, the enemy will now start to bring in aircraft where they'll start targeting your boat. So what I would do at this point is do not let your AI control it, because they take ages to move, is that use manually control the boat to move around as much as you can, especially when that airplane is approaching. Move the airplane as much as you can, because they will kill the infantry off your boat, but they will try and basically blow up your boat, and that boat is going to be your lifesaver. So as you can see on the mini map here, that all my infantry are now dead, including my medics. So now all I have left is just my gunboat, and where you see right now is that where the enemy infantry are going, is that's where you want to place your infantry for that defense. Is that because you have all your infantry in one area and you still have your infantry alive, they're able to maximize that firepower with them all coming in. And because even though with the enemy vehicles coming in, the enemy vehicles will be a wee bit too far away to focus fire them, so they'll start focus firing on your gunboat, which you kind of want, because you want to keep your infantry alive for as much as you can. So that's what I would do in that mission, is basically keep your infantry to that kind of the left side as much as you can, kind of where that kind of shoreline is, where that beachhead is. But as you can see, with the enemy now taking very strong positions cover, it takes me a while to actually kill anything, and those vehicles that are now coming in have quite high caliber guns now, or AA guns, which can actually kill your gunboat. So make sure you keep your gunboat moving, but also keep them at a distance where they will not get hurt by the enemy vehicles. And at this point,
aircraft incoming from the west is preparing to strike the gunboat.
So as you can see that I'm now more worried about the aircraft than I am actually the infantry. So I move back towards the camera, toward my boat. You can see I'm looking to where the airplane is coming from, and I start moving. Unfortunately, it does get a couple hits, but we have absolutely decimated that plane and destroyed it. And you can see that I'm going in a circle to try and keep my gunboat moving as much as I can, but also now I'm concentrating back on fire of the infantry. Now the infantry does eventually run out, they do keep coming, or this is the amount that they bring out, so it does seem a lot, but in actual fact they cannot really reach you. And also keep your gunboat at a safe distance as well, where the enemy infantry and vehicles can't hit basically your guys on the gunboat, because they are a wee bit exposed. As you can see on the gunboat, they don't really have any cover, so make sure you keep your gunboat at safe distance from the infantry and the vehicles, so they cannot kill you. And as you can see now, they have another vehicle approaching, which is now going to be my main focus in a second once I start seeing it. But I'm currently continuing with HE, but I switch back to that AP shell now, realizing that there is a vehicle. So I'm now going to move into position where I can get a clean shot. As you can see, I don't have quite a clean shot, and in about 3 seconds when he moves forward, I'm going to have a nice clean shot. There you go, it has been now taken down. Make sure you absolutely kill that thing with basically until it goes up in smokes or flames. You can see there, so it's now been decrewed, and I've now killed off the crew member as well, so he can't repair it. And as you see, I'm absolutely mowing down these infantry, and unfortunately this is where I start to take a wee bit of a heart with my gunboat now that the airplane actually managed to get very good decent hits, and he's actually managed to kill a few of my crew on the gunboat, but we've managed to take out the plane as quickly as effective as much as we can, and I still have make control of my 45mm gun on the gunboat. But as you can see, I am losing crew members as it is becoming difficult to switch between the AT gun on the gunboat and the machine guns, the dish guns, so make sure you really take that into account. Now at this point I'm actually trying to aim for our supply crate, because what you can do with supply crates is that you can actually blow them up. They're kind of a wee bit like fuel tanks. Because it is ammunition, you can blow it up, but because I think this is a friendly, these are kind of allied supply crates, they don't actually blow up, unfortunately. So I was trying to be a wee bit clever with that move there, but unfortunately I didn't quite get it there. So unfortunately I had to kind of just I was stupidly shooting at something I couldn't explode. But that is a wee tip I would also take into consideration. I think you could do it with enemy supply crates but not allied supply crates, so take that into account. As you can see, they're still quite heavily pushing into the sea, onto the beachhead, and one other mistake I'm mistaking is that I am far too close to the beachhead, and I'm now exposing my infantry to my crew, making them very, very easy to shoot at. So make sure I would keep my gunboat much further away than this, as I am now completely exposed. But I've now destroyed another one of their vehicles. I've destroyed so many of their infantry that at this point you don't actually need to kill all the infantry. Basically just keep a hold of this. Now we have actually, at this point I would say we've actually lost the beachhead, but it still doesn't count as a loss because your gunboat is actually still in the battle. So even though your infantry is all dead, they're actually holding off. And in that case, because your gunboat is live, it means that you have completed this objective.
The full strength of our Black Sea fleet. Now our brothers in arms and families in Sevastopol have a real chance to stand strong.
And just like that, we have managed to complete the mission of Red Tide with only one gunboat. And there you go, the work is done. So there you go, guys. That is my step-by-step guide on making sure or how to complete the Red Tide mission on the Jubilee missions. If you have enjoyed this and you would like to see more tutorial missions on the campaigns even as well, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and again comment down below which mission you'd like to see next, or if you have a mission that you're really struggling with, then name it down below and I will try and record it for you. But there you go, guys. I hope you found it helpful, and hopefully you're able to complete it now on a hardcore difficulty, as this is what I completed it in. And even though it was not on kind of Fog of War, which probably would have even made it more intense, it definitely still is fun to do with a hardcore difficulty. So thank you guys so much for watching and our support, and I will see you in the next video. See you later and goodbye.